up, musicologists? Welcome to Amari Music Talk. I'm Richard Cole. Today I'm going to talk about the brand new box set, the Jimi Hendrix Experience Axis Bold as Love box set. So I got my copy on Friday, probably first time in a long time that Amazon has actually delivered something on the actual release date. So it was good to actually get that. So what we're going to do today is open it up, see what we got inside, and talk a little bit about the album. So, all right. So this is the box set. I like this a lot. Let's see. Hang on just a second. Here, so this is probably since the Electric Lady Studios box set, which we got about a year or so ago, which is this. So what I like about this is that they can sit side by side on the shelf. So I'm hoping that this is the template that the Hendrix estate is going to go with all their box sets. I got a feeling that maybe one day we're going to get Are You Experience in this format, Electric Ladyland in this format. I mean, we already got the Band of Gypsies, the complete concerts there, so probably won't see that as a box set, but it would be nice to, see all the box sets kind of uniform in this fashion. So, like I said, it's cool to have that side by side, but today, like I said, we're going to focus on Axis Bold as Love, which is Jimi Hendrix's second album. It was a follow-up to the classic debut Are You Experience. So once that album dropped, the Jimi Hendrix Experience, they didn't waste any time. Jimmy was right back in the studio for the quick follow-up and did not suffer the sophomore jinx on this. This was an album that elevated his legend. So, like I said, we're going to open this up today. Got a handy guitar pick, which is pretty good for opening CD, vinyl, and box sets like this. Let's see. I don't know if I want to. I think I might keep the hype. I don't know. Probably won't keep the hype sticker on this, and kind of the way this is working, looks like I probably won't be able to anyway. So let's go and treat this like a Christmas gift and go on and knock this out of the park. All right, so here we go. So we got the little slip cover here that opens up into this image. So this was drawn by Jimi Hendrix at the age of 5. So when you get that, you will, I don't know if you guys can see that or not. Focus. All right, but yes, but this was drawn by Jimmy at the age of 5. It's called the Rainbow Dragon, that which is on the front cover, and the back cover here is the Rainbow Horse, and this was done on crayons on craft paper. All right, so Jimmy, like a lot of us, had that budding art talent at such an early age. But yeah, let's go ahead and open this and see what we got. All right, so that's that. Okay, looks like it comes with a booklet, probably with the liner notes and some historical context. So there we go. Yeah, we probably won't go through the whole book here, but yeah, definitely The great thing about a lot of box sets, like I said, we got the liner notes and historical context and session notes. And then we've got, let's see here. So we got, this is the original album cover to Axis Bold as Love. And let's see, this is a photograph I got where this was taken. I think this was from a TV appearance, but I can't think of which one. So let's see. So we got, here's where we've got disc 1 and disc 2. So disc 1 is the original stereo mix of the album. And let's see if we can. See if we can get this out. Yeah, little problems kind of getting that out, and got a little bit of something there on the disc there. Hopefully we can get that cleaned up. It is kind of snug. Huh. Interesting. Okay, so this is, oh, okay. So this is the Blu-ray disc, which will have the original stereo mix and the mono mix and the Dolby Atmos mix of the album. That this is the Blu-ray, which will contain that. And that's kind of weird that that was kind of sandwiched in there with, what is this? This is disc 1. Again, this is the original stereo mix of that. So cool. So let's see. Let's get that. Huh. Okay. So here we got a little bit of a flaw. So when you get this, usually these kind of slip cases, they're designed to where everything is kind of snug, some more snug than others. But when I tried to put the disc back, it drops all the way down to the bottom. So let's see, maybe this is the original purpose of having this Blu-ray in here like that. So we're going to put it back just like that. And we're going to move on to disc 2, which is the original mono mix. Now, once upon a time, everything was in mono, which meant everything came out of one speaker and everything was mixed for that intention. Stereo is kind of like any new technology that we get these days, how at one point it's super expensive for a number of years, and then the price comes down to the point where everybody has it. So at one point, stereo was like a luxury, and very few people had it. You know, a lot of people still listened on the little portable record players. People had transistor radios or just single speaker radios. There were no component sets in those days. So things were mixed for that purpose. And in a lot of cases with a lot of records, up until maybe the late 60s, mid to late 60s, mono, things sounded better in mono just because you just get everything up front. There's not a lot of panning left and right. There was none of that. So the mix was balanced. And like I said, in a lot of ways, things sounded better in mono. Those of us that grew up mostly with stereo, or by the 70s, the stereo was becoming more mainstream. But again, I know when I was a little kid, I didn't have no fancy component set. I had a little transistor radio and had a little clock radio a few years after that. So, and the record player I had was about yay big and one speaker. And like, again, a few years later, a friend of mine had got a speaker off a old radio and we wired that sucker, and then stereo. So again, here's the mono mix on disc 2. All right, so CDs 3 and 4 are the album sessions. And here we got, again, where the disc kind of slips to the very bottom. So when you get your copy, be very careful removing these from the sleeves. I know some box sets like the Beatles or what else? Prince, their box sets have little CD sleeves that are easy to remove in and out, or the packaging, if it's built in, it kind of cuts off to where it's just the length of the disc, and a little bit easier to pull in and out of those cases. So like I said, be very careful because you might inadvertently end up getting something scratched, or if it slips down when you fold it back up, you can end up with some scuff marks in it. So if I got a flaw with this box set so far, that's the only flaw that there is. But the CDs do look like they're in pretty good order. So cool. So we got the sessions, studio sessions on both disc 3 and 4. Let me try to get 4 out of there. Come on out. Yeah, there we go. Cool. All right, so we got disc 4, the Axis Bold as Love Sessions. And that's that. So we got, other than that, with the disc kind of slipping down a little bit and kind of a little cumbersome to get in and out, it is a very good looking package. As far as the format of it, like I said, again, I do like the size of it, and I like that it conforms with the Electric Lady set. So like I said, I will be kind of placing these side by side, and I'm just going to assume that, like I said, we're probably going to get more, like I said, maybe an RU Experience set, maybe Electric Ladyland. I know they did a few years ago with the vinyl, reissued that, and it was kind of a bonus disc with sessions, but wondering if they were able to find more sessions or the complete sessions for that. Maybe we'll get a box set for that as well. So who knows? But this is the app. Let's see, did I put this on right? There it is. Okay. The Axis Bold as Love box set. All right. And as far as how it sounds, I only had a chance to really listen to, and this was on streaming, so the original stereo mix of that. And I really haven't heard this album since I did the video for the announcement of it. Like I said, it's not a bad album. I think with the weight of RU Experience, which came before it, and the weight of Electric Ladyland that came after it, then this kind of, for a lot of people, gets lost in the shuffle. But if you go on the Jimi Hendrix official YouTube channel, they managed to get testimony from, let's see, I know Todd Rundgren was one. I'm kind of drawing a blank on some of the other individuals. Let's see, I think Billy Gibbons from ZZ Top was one. And there are about 2 or 3 more that I watched, but I can't remember who was in the video. But they're, how can I forget? Bootsy Collins is one too. And they talk about their love for this album. And like I said, it's one, when I listen to it, it's like, yeah, it's great. But when the announcement for this box set came out and I did the video prior to that, then I listened to the original album and was like, yeah, this is good. I really, it's starting to kind of click and gel with me now. So listening to the stereo mix, again, it's just kind of like just reminded of, oh, okay, wow, this has Castles Made of Sand on it. This, of course, Little Wing, I think, is sort of the go-to for a lot of people. It's probably one of Jimmy's most covered songs. Probably one cover that I'm familiar with, and I think it's on Sting's second solo album, I think. So that's one cover that I'm familiar with. And I know other people have done it as well. But I know, trying to think who else did it. Somebody's video I'd seen recently. But anyway, like I said, Sting is probably one of the ones that I remember the most, because that was off of his second solo record. If 6 Was 9, I know Bootsy Collins covered that. Let's see, I think Buckethead was in the video, and I forget who the drummer was in that video, but that was for wasn't on one of Bootsy's albums, but it was it was some kind of compilation, but it was still utilizing a lot of the P-Funk members playing on different songs, and I think is it Les Claypool, I think, was a part of that too, or if that was his project. I have to go research that, but people in the comments just let me know. But yeah, I'm looking forward to listening to the Dolby Atmos mix of this. I'm a huge fan of that format, so I'll be looking forward to hearing how that sounds. I know Bernie Grubman did the remasters for this album, but probably not the Dolby Atmos mix. So I'm looking forward to that. But like I said, I only had a chance to listen to the original album just this morning. And like I said, this is one I plan to revisit, especially with some of the sessions. As they leaked different tracks prior to its release, I have heard those things and was blown away by that. I mean, any unreleased Jimmy that you can find, and a lot of it's available thanks to the Jimi Hendrix estate. By all means, definitely check it out, definitely. But let me know in the comments, was this something that you wanted to pick up? Are you planning on picking it up? What other things from the Hendrix estate have you been able to listen to, or which one is your favorite? Like I said, I like this format, and this is a great set too. By the way, I did a video on Electric Lady Studios, this box set as well, and like I said, that looks pretty good. That's gonna look pretty good on the shelf, so I got to rearrange some stuff back here and make room for these two items. But again, let me know what you think. Leave me your thoughts in the comments. And we got some stuff coming up soon. Let's see, we still got part 2 of The Fans Aren't Being Listened To. Part 2, we're going to cover Prince. I guess with the symmetry of things, I mean, unfortunately, the passing of D'Angelo, but just kind of the way things flowed. There has been a number of things during that I probably wouldn't have been able to cover without having to kind of take a step back a little bit, and then also doing the tribute video as well. But there are some Prince things that I do want to take a look at, like the Diamonds in Love set. I've listened to some of that, so I'm going to kind of drop that into this part 2. So I'm going to work on that, hopefully maybe this week. If not, probably same time as you'll see this video, the next week, the following week. And going to have some, just kind of meditate on some changes for the show after that. And until then, like, subscribe, hit the notification bell. Also, too, I'm going to make some changes to the Patreon page, too. Actually, I've already made some changes. But I'm going to address that in the video either before or after the part 2 of the Fans Aren't Being Listened To series. But until then, like, subscribe, hit that notification bell, still become a Patreon supporter. Until then, create your day, create your life. Peace.